I-38M, found out my wife, 36F, cheated on me, disappeared for 10 years, and came back after my kid. Died. Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be here sharing my story, but I guess I need to get this off my chest. Here goes. About 10 years ago, I was living a pretty standard life. I had a stable job, a nice house, and a beautiful wife, Sarah. We had a son, Jack, who was 5 at the time. Life was good, or so I thought. One day, I came home early from work, hoping to surprise Sarah with some flowers and take her out for dinner. As I walked into the house, I heard noises coming from our bedroom. My heart sank, and I felt a sense of dread wash over me. I quietly walked up the stairs, and when I opened the bedroom door, my worst fears were confirmed. There was Sarah in bed with another man. I don't remember much of what happened next. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of anger, and a lot of tears. Sarah confessed that she had been seeing this guy for a few months, and she begged for my forgiveness. But I couldn't stay. I couldn't face the betrayal, and I couldn't bear to look at her. So I left. I packed a bag and disappeared. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I just drove and drove until I couldn't drive anymore. I ended up in a small town far away from everything I knew. I changed my name, got a job under the table, and tried to start over. I felt guilty for leaving Jack, but I convinced myself that it was for the best. I wasn't in a state to be a good father. For the first few months, I was in a haze. The small town I found myself in was a place where nobody knew me, and that was exactly what I needed. I rented a tiny apartment and found work at a local diner. It was a simple job, washing dishes, cleaning tables, but it kept me busy and gave me something to focus on other than my pain. I tried to keep to myself as much as possible, but the people in the town were friendly. They would strike up conversations, invite me to local events, and glad I started to feel a part of the community. I made a few friends, people who didn't pry too much into my past and accepted me for who I was then, not who I had been. Despite the semblance of a new life, I was haunted by memories of Jack. I wondered how he was doing, what he looked like as he grew older, and whether he missed me. Every time I thought about reaching out, the guilt and shame stopped me. I felt like I had failed him and I didn't deserve to be a part of his life. Years went by. I became a fixture in the town, I got promoted at the diner, moved into a slightly bigger apartment, and even started dating again. I met a woman named Emily. She was kind, understanding, and never pushed me to talk about my past. We dated for a few years, and for a while, I thought I might be able to move on and start a new family. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was living a lie. Emily deserved someone who could give her his whole heart, and mine was still broken. Eventually, I told her the truth about my past. She was supportive, but we both knew that it was too much to overcome. We parted ways amicably, and I threw myself back into my work to distract myself from the pain. A few months ago, I got a call from an old friend who somehow tracked me down. He told me that Jack had passed away. He had been in a car accident and he didn't make it. I felt like my world was crashing down all over again. The guilt and regret were overwhelming. I knew I had to go back. I needed to face my past, even if it was just to pay my respects to Jack. When I returned to my old town, everything felt surreal. It was like stepping into a time machine. I went to Jack's grave, and I broke down. I apologized to him over and over again, even though I knew it was too late. I also saw Sarah. She looked different, older, and more tired. We talked for a long time. She told me about how hard it had been raising Jack on her own and how much he had missed me. I told her about the pain and the regret I had carried with me all these years. We're not getting back together. Too much has happened and the wounds are too deep. But we both agreed to try and find some closure, for Jack's sake. We're working on being civil, maybe even friends, for the memory of our son. Since coming back, I've reconnected with some old friends and family. It's been tough, but it's also been healing. I've started seeing a therapist to help me work through the guilt and grief. Sarah and I meet occasionally to talk about Jack and share memories. It's painful, but it's also a way to keep his memory alive. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm trying to take it one day at a time. I know I can't change the past, but maybe I can find some peace moving forward. Thanks for listening. Reddit.